Welcome back. In the previous lecture, we understood how do you do the transformations around the columns. Now, in this lecture, we'll try to discuss how do we do the transformation pertinent to rows. We already know we can either add the rows or remove the rows, or we can sort the data by rows. We can do all these things as a part of the data frame transformations. One of the very important thing is filtering the rows. When you are dealing with millions of records, you tend to filter the rows based on some conditions. Let us take an example of this data frame. As I said, DF, I have been using this terminology as a data frame. So, which has around two columns. One is employee name, the second one is salary. Within this, you want to filter all the employees who are drawing a salary of more than $6,000. Then obviously, we will be filtering the rows to get these values. To filter the rows, we create an expression that will evaluate to true or false. Then filter out the rows with an expression that is equal to false. Means if you take this example, our condition is we want to see in the results of employees who have a salary of more than $6,000 per month. Now, whichever the rows, this row and this row are evaluating to false. So, they will be filtered out. To filter the rows, we have two important methods. One is where, second one is filter. We can use both of them interchangeably. So, the way you use them is, again, this is a name of the data frame, and we will use a where method. We will give a condition here. This is, we are trying to filter out the rows, assuming this is the name of the column, and we are trying to filter out a rows in the column count which is having less than 2 count. The same thing can be represented in using a filter here. Both of them are similar. Now that we understood how do you filter, one more important thing is how do we get the unique rows from a data frame. So, in this case, we want to see in a salary which are the unique rows from the salary perspective. Salary perspective, you see, we have 5,000 here, 6,001 is unique, and also 5,500. So, we get 3 unique rows out of these 5 rows. If you want to get a unique rows from a particular column, what we can do is we can use a distinct method, which will take out all the duplicate rows from that particular column and give you the unique rows. This is how you use it. Now, let us say data frame name. This is the name of the data frame, and either using a select. So, we are trying to select 2 columns here, this one and this one. Between these 2 columns, we are trying to use a distinct. So, what happens is, if you use a distinct on one column, it will try to find what are the distinct rows in one column. If you try to combine 2 columns, it will try to see between the combination of these 2 columns which is the unique one. That means, for example, let us say city, and also we have a salary. If city is San Francisco, if city is Bangalore, in both of the cases, if the salary is $5,000, still they are treated as a distinct rows altogether. Next important aspect is how do we sort the rows? When we are trying to work with the huge amount of data amounting to millions of records, we tend to see what are the ways we can see the data from ascending to descending, descending to ascending. So, to do that, we can use a sorting of the rows. For example, in this case, when you try to sort the salary by a ascending order, you can see 5,000 is the first, second, third, fourth and fifth row. We can sort the rows by 2 important methods. More or less, they can be used interchangeably. One is sort, the second one is order by. As I indicated, sort is almost equivalent to the order by. So, let us see how does it work. One important thing is both of them accept the column expressions and strings. They accept the column expressions and also string as a multiple columns. The second one is the default order in which they will be sorting is in ascending order. That means if you don't specify the option whether it is ascending or descending, it will assume you are thinking it should be sorted in an ascending order. We can explicitly specify whether it is ascending order or a descending order by using ASC and DSC. How do we do it? Let us take an example here. First of all, you need to import these two functions if you have not imported all the functions by using a import star. So what you can do is here you can say the name of the data frame and say sort, and you can give a name of the column. The same can be used. In this case, what we are trying to do, we are trying to use order by, and within that we are doing a expression. We are using a expression also. That also can be done. And also we can order by a particular column in a descending order and another column in a ascending order also. You can use the combination as well. But how far it makes sense while trying to do the ascending or descending of a particular column or a combination of column, it depends on a project to project and requirement to requirement.
So in conceptual class, we have understood how do we go ahead and work on the rows and do some transformations on the rows. Let us see them one by one as a part of our hands-on exercises. First and foremost thing is, how do we filter the rows? Assuming that we already have a data frame. Now, the data frame here, what we have is df flight show. This is the data frame. We have df flight, and if you want to filter something, either you can use where or filter where count is less than 5. Okay, and we can go and show this. Let's try to show only 10 of them. That should be fair enough. Let's go and execute this now. This is where we are trying to filter the rows based on particular condition. There you go. All these records have a count less than 2 or less than 5 here. One more thing what we can do, let us reverse this and see how it is happening. We'll say more than 5, and it should not list anything whichever has been already listed now. So let's go on this. Yes, you can see all of them are more than 5. As we have already understood, where is nothing but filter. We have already seen this. So all we have to do is, instead of using where, go ahead and use filter. We will get the same results. Let me go ahead and execute this, get the same results, right? One important thing is we are filtering the rows based on one condition. You can also go ahead and filter based on couple of more conditions. The way you can do it is, for example, now we have this particular condition. So what we can do is we can add one more condition to this. Let us see how do we add one more condition. So filter, then what we can do is we can go ahead and say call and origin country. So we just want to check whether the origin country name is not equivalent to Croatia. We also need to give Croatia of that. Let's go ahead and add this, and then go and see. Yes, you can see we have added two conditions here. We are trying to see whether the count is more than 5. Along with that, origin country name should not be Croatia. Do you see any Croatia here? No, right? So this is one more way. We can string together multiple filters. That also we can do. So after this, the next aspect is how do we really get the distinct values, right? So how do we get the unique rows? As we already seen, all we have to do is select particular column and add distinct method to that. Let us do that now. So here the flight and select. So let us say destination country name. That's it. Add a distinct method to this, and let us try to count it. Okay, let's go and execute this. So there are 132 distinct destination country names. One more thing what you can do is you can go ahead and assign this to destination country distinct into one more data frame. Okay, let us do that now. Let's go and execute this. Now if you go and see destination show 5, if you go and count this also, we can also count this. That also can be done. If you go and count this also, it will be 132, right? So we also understood how do you get the distinct values, how do you get the unique rows. The next aspect is how do we sort the rows, or how do we order. How do we do that is by using two methods like sort and order by, right? So let us see with some examples here now. Go ahead and say sort, and within that give a column name. So call destination, and let us go with the count and show. Let's execute this. It is sorting by this one. As we have already discussed, if you are not giving any order, whether it is a descending order or ascending order, the way it starts is in the ascending order. Let us go ahead and import both DSC and ASC so that we can play with them. So let me import them. Okay, I imported them. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use the function. Instead of ascending, all we'll do is descending. Sorry, I need to copy this. Let me copy this and modify this to be. All you have to do is for the column, go ahead and add the function descending. And let us see how it works. Execute this. Show, let's show only 10 values. That should be enough. You can see, since we use the descending method or function here, what is happening here? We are getting the rows, count rows, which are in a descending order. One more important thing is, as we have already understood, sort and order by work in the same fashion. Instead of sort, just go ahead and say order by. So let us go and see whether it works fine or not. It is the same thing. Let us copy and see and replace the sort with order by. So let us go and copy and see. Yes, it works. And one more thing what I want to demonstrate here is we can also combine sorting with more than one column. Let's do that now. Now order by, and then what we can do is let us give a call and let us say origin country name and make it as a ascending. When we do this, the first condition is taken. Within this, they'll try to arrange in a ascending order. Let's go and execute this now. Okay, you can see it, right? As I said, first condition is count, and then within the descending, there is a only within this value we have a origin country name or something that will be arranged in a ascending order. So we can combine the different columns in a different ways when we are trying to order by or filter.